out there, internet world, and all of you wacky, wonderful people, especially the new people that we're about to get from my college classes. This is me. I am the bearded brother, Matt.
Some people call me Chris.
We're not going to go down the Monty Python hole again today.
Fair enough.
We lost trauma dice for that last time. If anybody knows what we're referring to, congratulations. You're just as nerdy as we are. And of course, on the Loki is the official channel on the shoulder is the official channel mascot, Loki. I must have gotten these lips from you all.
Shit happens.
Shit happens. All right, and we are back with yet another sports podcast. The no-budget, lowest thing that you're going to watch on the internet today.
If you watch.
If you watch. Most people won't, but that's all right. We will live. For those of you that do and sit through our entire diatribe of stuff, yay! In the meantime, what we're going to tell all of you is, awesome. We have some stuff to go over real quick news-wise, and then we're going to look back today at predictions we made earlier this season for the NFL to see how badly and how far off we were. And we're going to take a look, an early look, at some of the risers and some of the fallers after the draft combine. We're not going to be breaking down everybody we think that could go in the first round. That's going to come later. And we'll do that in two videos, one offensive and one defensive. This is just a, hey, the combine is done, who did well, who flubbed it. Because there were a couple of people that flubbed it. We'll talk about that when we get there. In the meantime, let us do the news. News. All right. I guess the biggest news that I've got, there's a couple of little pieces here and a couple of little pieces there and whatnot.
Some news today as well.
That's what I was getting to.
Yep.
The Bears are getting Jonah, is that his name? Jonah Jackson from the Rams for a 6th round pick, which is okay. There you go.
It's not bad.
Looks like the Eagles and Barkley have worked out some kind of contract extension, and he is now the top paid running back in the NFL, or will be, according to sources.
Shocking.
The Jets, shockingly, read the sarcasm in there, have cut Devontae Adams. And then the 49ers have done the one thing that I was like, huh? From this entire week. The 49ers have traded Deebo Samuel to the Washington Commanders for a 5th round draft pick. What? Couldn't even get a 3rd?
Dude, the guy played so bad last year.
Yeah, I know, and he was injured a lot, which is why they only got a 5th.
And that contract is awful.
It kind of is. It kind of is. Before we jump into hockey news, because there have been some trades that I do want to dingle down, the trade deadline is coming up on Friday. We'll have a recap of that next week, because that's going to be big. However, there was a brilliant sports moment in the NBA last night. After getting seriously injured, 2 people helped Kyrie Irving to the free throw line so that he could make his shots. And it has now come out that he did that on a torn ACL, and he will be out the rest of the season.
Oof.
But still, he went to the line and made his foul shots.
I don't know why.
Because it's grit. He wants to prove to Mavericks fans that he's there for them.
Not anymore, he's not.
Well, no, now he's got a torn ACL, so he's out.
As we talked about with that team. Yeah.
Also, the Dallas Cowboys, real quick, back to football. The Dallas Cowboys have signed, got an extension with Osa Odigizwa
Yeah, that's a hard name, I know.
Yeah.
Also,
And T.
didn't
Higgins
the
got
Eagles?
franchised.
Yeah, T. Higgins got franchised. And Nick, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't the Eagles cut cornerback Darius Slay?
Yes, the Eagles have cut Darius Slay.
Yep.
All right, real quick then. I've got some NHL trades for us.
Stop chewing on me.
No, Dad, I'm not going to stop chewing on you.
Knock it off, you.
Alrighty. Because there's a couple of big ones real quick that I want to talk about. Because one just happened today. Alright, so we're going to go back a little bit, though. I don't want the grades. I want... Do we actually have... There we go, trade tracker. Alright, here we go. Those have already been taken care of. All right. The other big ones right now, the Avalanche and Rangers made a trade. The Avalanche are getting defenseman Ryan Lindgren, left wing Jimmy Vesey, and the rights to prospect Hank Kempf. And the Rangers are getting defenseman Calvin DeHaan, center Juuso Perisinen, 2025 second, and a 2025 fourth. So, not horrible. Definitely the Rangers are they're buying a little bit, but they're also doing the selling, because Ryan Lindgren is a big name, and Colorado definitely wanted him because they're trying to make a cup run again. The Minnesota Wild traded a 2026 second round pick to the Preds to pick up Gustav Nyquist. Again, almost 1 year to the day that they did it last year. Except last year it only cost them a fifth round pick. Or not last year, year before last. So 2 years to the day. And they picked him up and for like a fifth from Columbus. This time, though, he's coming off his career high in both goals and assists, thus points, as a player last season with the Preds. This year he's not having a good year, but virtually nobody on the Predators is having a good year this year. So we picked him up because we need depth. Kaprizov is still out. It's now looking more likely that he's going to be out until the playoffs after his surgery. Joel Eriksson Ek is out. He injured himself, somehow got a lower body injury, and he is out. Jonas Brodin is out again, got some sort of lower body injury against Colorado. And Hartman, I think he's finally about to come back because I think he's back tonight because I believe that his last suspended game for slamming the dude's head into the ice was the last game they played. So he's about to be back, but we're still out basically a line. So we've got to try to get something going. I don't think we're done. I do think Minnesota's looking to get like a Brock Nelson or a Brock Besser, a center to replace Ek at this point. And then we can hopefully bring Ek back for the playoffs along with Kaprizov because there's no salary cap in the playoffs. So we'll see if that works. Other big trades. The Blackhawks are getting goalie Spencer Knight and a conditional 2026 first-round pick from the Panthers for defenseman Seth Jones and a 2026 fourth-round pick. The Blackhawks are also retaining 50% of his salary for the rest of his contract, which I think is like 3 or 4 more years, which is quite a bit. But the Panthers are definitely trying to make a run. They lost Kachuk for probably until the playoffs, but they're still the Panthers. So they're a wagon and they're going for it.
It's still weird to hear that, by the way. Whenever I hear Panthers, my brain's just like, all right.
Yeah, well, they won it all last year. And that's still hard.
I know.
Still hard to grasp.
I'm just saying, as somebody who watches more football, whenever I hear Panthers are doing well, my brain goes, wait, what?
All right. Then there was a 3-team trade between the Oilers, the Bruins, and the Devils. The Devils got the least out of this. They got the rights to prospect Shane LeChance. The Bruins picked up defenseman Max Wanner and both a 2025 second-round pick and a 2026 fourth-round pick. The Oilers picked up the rights to unsigned prospect Peter Hauser, forward Max Jones, and forward Trent Frederick. If you know anything about Trent Frederick, you don't know him for scoring goals. You know him for punching people in the face. And you know what? The Oilers identified a problem. Why did they get beat last year by the Panthers?
They're not punching enough people in the face.
Exactly. They couldn't go toe-to-toe with guys like Bennett and Kachuk and just all of the mean, rough and tumble guys that the Panthers play. Playoff hockey is a totally different beast. So they went out and they got a big, mean brawler of their own in Trent Frederick. And I can't say that's a bad idea for the Oilers. Protect Draisaitl. Protect McDavid. If anybody screws with them, bring on the goon. It's Trent
Quite
Frederick.
literally. I still think it's funny that, like, out of all the sports games that you can play where you can beat people up as a job, hockey. It's just funny to me. You don't have to be good at the sport. You just have to be good at throwing hands.
It's like I've tried to tell people about hockey. Like, if you don't like hockey, then you haven't watched enough hockey because it's the only sport around where they keep people on the team, not because they score goals, but because they punch other people in the face really well.
Yeah. I just think it's funny because, like, obviously there's MMA, right? Like, everyone kind of expects that, but, like, a traditional sport where you're scoring points and you actually have, like, team play and everything, and then one of the guys on the team just has to be really good at punching people in the face. I just think that's funny.
Yeah, one of the big four, as we would call it. Baseball, basketball, football, and hockey, right? Those are the big four.
I mean, sometimes there's fights in baseball, but it's not the same.
No, we haven't had a really good one, I think, in probably since Pedro threw that dude onto the ground. That manager that was like 70
I was
to the
gonna
ground.
say. Yeah,
and before that, it was what? Robin Ventura and Nolan Ryan when Nolan was like 50?
Something like that, yeah.
And he still beat the trash out of that guy. Got him in a headlock and just... It was like, dude, you just got your ass kicked by a 50-year-old.
To be fair, a tough 50-year-old.
Yeah, that dude is a dude who took a baseball to the mouth and spit the blood out and just kept pitching.
And kept going. Yeah. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, dude's tough as nails.
Yeah, there's sometimes you meet players in other sports and you go, you know, you would have been really good as a hockey player.
You would have been good at hockey.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. There's quite a few football players where I go, if you knew how to skate, they'd put you out there.
Vontez Perfect.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
Adam Jones.
Sue. Indomitius Sue.
Indomitius Sue. Could you imagine that brick crap house on skates?
That's what I'm saying. It'd be terrifying. I can't score goals with shit, but I'm gonna knock your lights out.
Mommy,
please don't. I don't want to skate anymore.
Dude, the tilts between him and Zdeno Chara would be legendary. Zdeno Chara was like 6'7" or something, 6'6".
Yeah.
That's big. That's huge for a hockey dude.
Big dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
Chara was a big guy.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. There's plenty of people out there that just like, yep, that would be funny to see them on skates, but apparently there's obviously a reason why they didn't play that game, because they can't probably skate.
There's that, and, you know, up until recently, it was not nearly as prevalent a sport in American psyche as it was, you know, as it's starting to become again now, especially with the Four Nations Cup, because that really, I think, helped boost a lot of what we're looking at here. All right, you ready to go over our picks? What we did?
Sure, but this one's trying to be adorable, and I know he's not. You're being a dick, but you're not being adorable. He's acting like he's done nothing wrong.
Which means he's done something.
Oh, yeah. He kept pecking my fucking ear. Like, so these things, I can't hear him very well, but when he knocks against it, I can hear that reverberation going directly into my ear, so I'm just like, fucking stop, you little demon. He knows it, too. Pay attention to me. Pay attention to me. Pay attention to me. That's what
Hi,
that was.
Loki.
He's making himself very well known.
Yes, he is. And eventually he'll crawl up on the microphone and just stare you in the face.
Probably at some point. Yeah.
All right, do you want to do this like person by person?
I figured we'd do like a back and forth. Like
That's
we
what I
just
was thinking.
talk about one and go back and forth. No particular order has to be done, but I'm gonna do mine probably in the order that I did them in
That's
personally.
probably what I'm going to look at here. Is I've got like these are how they're written down, and I'm just going to go point by point. So
Yeah, I also have yours written down with notes on them too. So
if you
I don't know
wrote
if you did
mine
the same.
down, you're gonna love because I'm going to start with the first one here that I have written down. I didn't go back and watch. See, I kept.
Oh, I see. I did. Okay.
I kept mine.
See, I went back and watched it, so I can tell you kind of what happened.
I believe I said the Atlanta Falcons will make the NFC Championship game behind comeback player of the year, Kirk Cousins.
So I very much turned that down, by the way. Just
you
as
did. You had an
reference.
entry. I did write takes and no takes, and you did not take this. And
Nope.
whoo, boy, was I off the mark on that one.
I literally just wrote big nope. LOL.
I was so far off the mark because not only did Cousins not even not get comeback player of the year, he didn't even make it through the entire season before he got benched.
Yep.
And now he's going in as the Falcons' backup at $100 million.
Most expensive backup in the world.
Whoever is his agent needs to go to the Hall of Fame just for the amount of money they've gotten Kirk Cousins.
Oh yeah. I think it's funny how often we've talked about that. Like, this is like the 4th or 5th time at minimum that we've talked about that. Like, his agent is fucking great. He
Whoever
himself
that agent is, everybody else needs to be
good.
like, "Hey, dog, you got me?"
Hey, I'm pretty good. I'm similar to Kirk Cousins. Can you give me those contracts?
Quinn Ewers signs with him.
Oh God. By the way, not even on my QB list.
Not anymore.
Just
no.
blunt. His combine was horrible.
His combine was trash. We'll talk about that in a minute.
So I'll talk about my very first one that I threw out, which was like a haymaker to the face, but I'm very proud of this one. I said Sam Darnold would have better stats than Jordan Love by the end of the year.
And I don't think I took that, and
You did not.
boy, was I wrong again.
Dude, like, the only stat Jordan Love had better was interceptions thrown, because Sam Darnold had 12 versus Jordan Love's 11. That was it. Everything
But
else
also,
was
Jordan
Sam
Love
Darnold.
played at least 1 or 2 less games.
Yes, this is also true. But overall, man, Sam Darnold, apparently better QB than Jordan Love.
Apparently, at least in KOC system, apparently.
At least in KOC system.
You know what? I'm not questioning any quarterback he starts from now on. I will not question it. In KOC, I trust.
He'll make it work. Yep, he'll make it work somehow.
All right. So, my next one, I said the Bears will make the playoffs. Nope. Nope, that didn't happen.
Nope.
They were better than they were the previous year.
They were.
But they did
I also
not make
turned that one down, by the way. Yeah,
You did.
I did not.
You did turn that down.
I just had too many issues with it because I was trying to figure out, like, are we having
else?
2
Who
teams
would
go,
come
3
out?
teams? Who's coming out? Like,
Who's coming out?
Yeah,
we
I
knew
just
the
had-
Lions were going to make it, and then who were the other 2? Because we figured.
and I wasn't out on the Vikings either, which I think you might have been, but I wasn't out on
I kind of
them.
was. I thought we might.
I think
miss it.
that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, no.
I wasn't fully out.
Totally got that wrong. Sorry, Bears fans. I tried. That did not work out. And
No.
also, I thought that the rookie they got you guys at like 9. I thought, oh yeah, there's a great wide receiver.
I thought so too. I'm
Ooh,
not gonna lie. That did
man, did
not
that
work
not
out.
work out? Hopefully, with Ben Johnson there, it'll work out a lot better now next year.
That's the hope. That was the other reason I turned it down because I just didn't. I mean, Matt Nagy, man, I just couldn't.
Eberflus.
Or Eberflus, sorry. That tells you how bad it is. There's so many of them at this point that I forget which one it was because they both were not good. Yeah, it just. They both are named Matt, isn't it? It's Matt Nagy and Matt
Nagy and
Eberflus?
Matt Eberflus. Yeah.
Jesus Christ! Of course, I'm gonna get those screwed up all the time. Now.
The Bears just don't have any luck with Matts.
Yeah, stop hiring Matts.
Stop hiring Matts unless it's me. Hire me.
I don't know if you would. I don't even know if you would be able to do that job. You might do better than they did, though. At least you know how to call timeouts.
At least I know how to call a timeout.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that was a rough one. My next one, I don't agree with. I don't think it was a hit. I think I was kind of wrong on it actually. So I said the Bills' Super Bowl window is closed. I don't necessarily agree, but I don't necessarily disagree either. I'm in a weird place with it, right? Because, like, they still made it through playoffs and made it pretty far.
AFC
But they
Championship
still
game.
can't. Yeah, but they still can't get over that goddamn hump called the fucking Chiefs.
Well, to
So-
be fair, nobody else can either. Until they got to
No.
the Super Bowl, they got absolutely reamed
Wrecked
by
Yeah.
the Eagles.
I don't know if I want to say that the Super Bowl window's closed because it's clear that they seem to still have the chance of making it. I don't know. I don't but I'll say you agreed to it. I still don't know if I necessarily even agree with it now, though.
I'll give it a 50-50.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, it's kind of, yeah. I thought I put it this way. I thought they might miss playoffs and they didn't. So that's why I'm like, yeah.
Yep. All right. My next one was, despite Rodgers being healthy all season, the Jets will still miss the playoffs and cost Saleh his job. You didn't take it, but I nailed that sucker.
I mean, I'll
I
say
didn't think
this.
they'd fire Saleh halfway through the
I was
season.
going to say, I didn't think they would fire Saleh. It wasn't even halfway. It was 4 weeks in.
4 weeks in. I didn't think that was coming. I thought he'd be gone at the end of the season.
That's
But
what I was going to say.
he
I
did get
seriously thought you
fired,
thought
and
that part
Rodgers
was going to happen.
was
but
healthy
God
the entire
damn.
season.
Yeah, healthy, quote unquote healthy. I don't know if I was necessarily actually as healthy as people think, because both Kirk Cousins and Aaron Rodgers had huge issues coming off of that injury still. So, like I said, I'm wondering if it just takes longer to recover than they think, or if you're older when that happens, you're just fucking done.
I think that's really what it is, but
yeah.
that's neither here nor there. I said, despite him being that he was on the field all
Being
season,
on the starter, yeah,
he was
no.
the starter all season.
But,
Cost
man.
Saleh his job, still missed the playoffs.
I'll say this: I don't think he should have cost us all. That was just dumb. They should have. His defense was still playing well. There was no reason to give up
You
on
could definitely see
Saleh.
that after Saleh was fired, that defense went into the can.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Saleh should not have been fired. That was so dumb. Anyways, we'll see how Aaron Glenn does now over there. Let's fire one defensive coordinator for another. Woo! Dumb. All right. My next one I was big wrong on, and you even disagreed with me on it, which is good. I said that despite how it looks, the Patriots would not end up with a top 10 draft pick. Man, I was fucking wrong on that.
What do they have? The second overall pick? Third?
No, I think it's
Fourth?
I think it's the fourth. I
Yeah,
think
it
it's the
sounded
fourth.
like that. I knew they were going to end up with a top 10 pick. Now,
Yeah.
you also did mention that you did not state precisely how they weren't going to end up with it.
I caveated that I did not believe, like, I did caveat that my intention was that they would end up with one to start with. While they could trade it out, it wasn't necessarily part of my plan. So, if they trade out now, I don't count it as me being right, because I was still wrong.
Yeah,
my initial
I totally
assessment is still
they
wrong.
Did. Now, did they get better when they put in the rookie?
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. And I am anxious to see what he can do under a real coach.
Oh, yeah. I think with that fourth overall pick, they pick a wide receiver there.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Like Tet.
Especially
Tet McMillan
if
or
it's...
something?
Ooh, Tet would be good, but they also need a corner.
Yeah, but I
Just
don't think
saying.
Hunter's going to fall that far.
At 4?
Yeah,
I think he'll be at 4.
I think he's gone at 2.
I don't think so. I think he'll be at 4 because
Because I
people
think it
want to.
goes.
Because too many people are desperate. I think that they'll be at 4. I think he'll be at 4.
He could be, but I think it's going to go quarterback, Hunter, Sanders.
I think it's going to be double quarterback, even though it shouldn't be. I think it's going to be quarterback.
I don't think the Browns are going to go quarterback. In fact, and it's
No. I think the Browns are going to trade out. I think they'll trade out with the Giants to allow the Giants to have that second overall pick
Why would the Giants do that?
because they really want a quarterback.
We'll have to see if the Browns can get them to.
I think
give up some
they're
stuff.
getting desperate after not being able to get Stafford, and now it sounds like they might not get Aaron Rodgers. I think they're getting desperate.
We'll see.
It makes sense for the Browns to move out. I'll put it that way.
It does make sense for the Browns to move out, especially if they don't plan on drafting a quarterback. But
Yeah.
being able to draft somebody like Hunter, that's also,
It's not as high as a need on their end, though. That's all I'll say on that. I don't necessarily disagree with you. I'm just saying that I could see that happening.
It also depends on what happens at number 1, especially considering if the Titans roll with Levis another year, which they could draft.
They might trade out, actually.
Well, they could
Or
trade
they could
out
draft
Abdul Carter.
Or they could draft like that. I was going to say Abdul Carter. Yeah.
Or they could draft Hunter.
They could. I just don't think they will.
No, I don't think so either. I think they're either looking quarterback or Carter or trade. And I don't know which way they're leaning right now.
Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah.
If I were them, I'd trade. But
I would probably trade out to get more picks.
Yeah, because you need a lot.
And hopefully stay within if you can stay within the top 5. Like maybe you decide, maybe the Patriots or not the Patriots, maybe the Giants decide they want to get up Cam Ward and they'll trade everything to get to that top pick. It could happen.
He is the most pro-ready QB of the class, so
yeah, it would make sense. I could see them doing that.
All right. I'm going to skip the one that I have here, and I'm going to do that last. The next one I am going to do, though, because we were talking about coaching and what the rookie can do under coaching. I stated 2 first-year head coaches will get fired. You didn't take it.
Yeah.
I nailed it, though.
I even brought this up in the video. I still didn't fully buy into Pierce being a first-year because he technically was still a head coach. I get it was his first full year. I was wishy-washy on that because I did not believe Pierce to be considered a first-year head coach, but that's just semantics.
That is semantics. He was considered a first year because he was interim to be a...
I know. I hate that idea because he was definitely head coaching. He was still the head coach.
But there is a difference. Yes, I get it. Still, I'm going to count that as a win. Gerard Mayo got canned.
That I will say that's the one I didn't expect to get canned, to be honest.
You and I didn't expect that because normally the Crafts are fairly, chill.
But at the same time, when they saw,
he's still sitting there.
He hasn't been hired yet. What the fuck?
Vrabel.
Yes.
Maybe that's
he's worked in our system, and he knows the Bill Belichick. Fuck it, we'll go get Vrabel.
Yep, and that's kind of what happened.
And to be fair, Mayo had some terrible press conferences, which I'm sure is what kind of did it over the edge, to be honest.
Yeah.
He said some really dumb shit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Even if he was good with the players, the shit that he said to the press is like, dude,
you gotta stop.
You can't be saying that shit, man.
You gotta stop, man.
Yeah. And even though Vrabel's a no-nonsense, he won't say that shit. He'll just be like, I'm not answering that.
Yeah. He'll take the Bill Belichick route. Nope. We're on to next week.
Not answering that.
Not answering that.
All right, let's go on to my next one, which is a huge big W win. And one that you did not take, so I was shocked by, but you didn't take this one. Giants will move on from Daniel Jones. Happened in the middle of the fucking season. I was right.
You were? I didn't.
You didn't want to bite because you were just so into that organization being too stupid. And I'm like, no, I get it.
I thought they were entirely too dumb to make the obvious choice.
Yep.
Thankfully, they finally did.
Yeah.
And then my
It was
final
time.
one that you took that I'll let you know, I'm giving myself a 50-50 on this. I think I got half right.
I mean, it's technically. I mean, to be fair, it was kind of 2-1, so I do agree that half of it's right.
The Cowboys will still not win a playoff game, but Jerry will extend McCarthy. Half of that happened. The Cowboys
Yeah.
did not win a playoff game, but Jerry got rid of McCarthy and replaced him with somebody worse.
Somebody potentially worse. I will say that even though you were wrong on the McCarthy thing, it went the whole season. It took a while before that decision ultimately happened to not extend him. So
Yeah,
like,
he got to have an entire
we were.
crap
By
season.
the end, I was gonna be honest. By the end of that season, even I was convinced, like, oh no, Jerry's gonna extend him. This is stupid. What the fuck? Like,
But you
even
have
I
to
was kind
remember,
of like, oh god.
there were people that were saying it, and I agree with them, that McCarthy, that Jerry is a businessman. Why
Yeah.
would I pay two coaches? His contract is
Yeah.
up at the end of the year. Why would I pay two coaches?
No, I get it.
That's just dumb.
Yeah.
Not gonna do it. I'm gonna let the contract run out, and he can go elsewhere.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought would happen, but I was wondering if he would get extended or not, and he just, didn't happen.
I thought that might happen, but I feel like what happened is they did have contract talks with him and then lowballed him on purpose.
Probably. Because that sounds like what basically what happened.
Yeah.
And then my last one, which was pretty, had a chance at happening, but it still didn't ultimately happen. But not for the reasons we thought. I said the Cardinals will win the NFC West. Didn't happen. They almost did, though.
They led the NFC West for a little bit, and then they ended up third.
Yep. They lost out to the Rams and the Seahawks.
Which you didn't think the Seahawks were going to do anything this year.
No, they played better than I expected, though they still ended up kind of in a similar position than I expected at the same time. It's weird.
Yeah.
I expected it to be worse, but not by much. They were pretty close to what I expected.
Yeah. They were weird.
The 49ers was the big one that I was like, the fuck happened to you?
Everybody got hurt.
Everyone all at once.
Yep.
And then everybody else didn't play well. Debo.
And then he got hurt.
decided to blame everyone else for his problems, and then got hurt. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Honestly, that's why he went for a 5th round. Not only was his contract ridiculously bad, he didn't play well, but I imagine just like his personality, I think the 49ers were just like, fine, somebody fucking take him. We don't fucking want him anymore. Like, he's got personality issues now. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how he does in Washington.
I mean, Scary Terry is there. You're not going to see the ball nearly as much. I'm just saying.
That's the whole thing, though. You might see it a bit because they're going to double up Scary Terry, and you know that's coming. And he is a playmaker.
But he's so fucking fast. He's hard to even to cover.
But you also know that Debo's fast too, and he's a playmaker.
He can be. Last year didn't show that.
No, it did not. But of course, they didn't have McCaffrey and Ayuk for most of the season.
I'm also wondering if that injury is potentially affecting. It was also why they traded him, because like maybe he's got more, issues that the 49ers know about that others don't.
It's possible. We'll see how it goes. It's only a 5th round pick, so if it works out, it's genius. If it doesn't, you're not out a whole lot.
No, you're not out a whole lot. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I think he went for so low, because I think the organizations even know that, like, this is a gamble.
So, all right. We have finished up our look back at things we got right and things we got wrong. We'll do this again next year. It was fun. I enjoyed the look back at it. Let's talk a little bit about the Combine, and then I'll do the hockey top 10, and that'll probably be it for the day, for this podcast. So, Combine, we got some people we want to talk about, some risers, some fallers. There was some interesting things that happened at the Combine. Couple of players raised their stock tremendously. big razors to me. Um, Ty Robinson, defensive tackle out of Nebraska. Dude
Mhm.
ran a 4.8 340 at nearly 300 pounds. Had a hell of a broad jump, a pretty good vertical, and the second most reps on the bench press. Overall, I think he turned in a really, really, really good showing. Maxwell Harrison, cornerback from Kentucky, ran the fastest 40, 4.28. I think he shot up some boards because of his speed and his ability to kind of move around a little bit.
Mhm.
And while I don't think he's going to go first round, Bashal Tootin from Virginia Tech turned in a pretty good showing. I don't think he's going first round, but he could easily go in the second now. And I think in the NFL, he'll probably turn some heads. He also ran a respectable 4.32. Who was the offensive lineman you said that?
Mm. Armand Membo. He ran a 4.91 on offensive tackle out of Missouri.
He's like
He's been shooting up.
340 pounds or something?
He's been shooting up boards. Let me double check. He is 332 pounds at 6'4".
Yeah. And
So,
yeah.
dude's a monster.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with him. Let me see here. I was also impressed by safety Malachi Starks. He played a lot better than I expected. He only ran a 4.5, but like, dude's just kind of a. I mean, he's 197 at 6'1", 4.5. Let me see here. He had a vertical jump up of 33. Shuttle of 4.45. I mean, I don't know. Just something about him. Just the way he played, just looked good. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's not the fastest. I mean, the fastest safety was Marquise Single, but from Kansas, running a 4.37. But I don't know.
Yes. But yeah, as in terms of there was a lot of good stuff that happened. Um, I'm pretty high on some of these guys. Yeah, a lot of these guys turned in really good workouts,
Oh yeah.
but also really high on where is he? I don't know if how he ran or if he ran the 40 or not. But I texted you his name too. The tight end from LSU.
I'm not seeing him on the 40, so I don't know if he ran it.
Yeah, I'm currently looking to see. Yeah, I don't see. Let's see here.
I don't even see him on the vertical.
I don't see him for the vertical or the broad or anything. He may not. He may have only done the catch drills.
Yeah, he might have only done the catch stuff.
Yep. So if that's the case, I will say there we go. All participants.
I will say the other tight end that
Mason Taylor.
I was gonna say the other tight end that kind of impressed me was Terrence Ferguson, though.
Yes, Mason Taylor. I mean, the way he ran the the line when he was doing that, I don't think you could run it any straighter than he ran it. Very good catch radius, good jobs off the lines. Overall, highly impressed me at tight end. And yeah, there were a couple of others that I was like, ooh, very nice. You know, I thought, hey, that's pretty good. Anybody else impress you that you want to talk about?
Um, I mean, I have a full list of people that I want to talk about. I was trying to find if there's anybody that's not on my list that I haven't talked about, but I think those are the ones that were specifically not on my list that I've brought up now.
Okay.
That were impressive. Um, as far as people that are on my list or people that I want to talk about in general, um, so none of these, I don't know. Most of these guys are probably not going to be first round picks in my book, but um, for as far as running backs that I've been able to watch game footage of, not just combine stuff, but game footage of, um, Trevor Etienne. I know I brought him up before the recording, but he has
Hmm.
impressed me. He looks like a second or third rounder. He's got really good speed, really good feet. I just think that he takes too long before picking a hole sometimes. I think he tries to run as a power back when he shouldn't. He's definitely more of an elusive back in my opinion, but he's really good at it. Devin Neal, super athletic, super good vision, not the fastest, but as a running back, like he just doesn't go down very easily, and he's just able to find those holes, even though it's like little tiny ones. He just knows how to run. And then the other, obviously, like we could talk about Ashton Gentry, but like we all know that he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Marion Hampton, like they're going to be first rounders. The other guy who could actually end up being a first rounder, if somebody wants to move up, he'll definitely be a second rounder, but could go to first. Is actually Cam Scatabo. Um, Dude's just got great vision and power. I love watching him run. He's if you really want a power back, you want somebody who's just going to eat people through the line. He's like a mini Derrick Henry almost. Like he's just going to run through people if he wants to. I love watching him run. I think he could go first round if somebody wants to pick at him. It'd probably be a late first rounder, but still, I could see it.
He did not run
Um,
a 40, but he
he
did
did
do
not.
both a vertical and a broad. He jumped 39 and a half for his vertical and 10 foot 3 on his broad.
Yeah. I mean, I think I think the dude's just a pretty big stud in my opinion. I just like the dude. Um, as far as QBs go, this is where things are. I'm gonna
I
get a
also want
little
to point out before
contentious.
we get off running backs,
Mhm.
RJ Harvey
No, go ahead.
from RJ Harvey from UCF.
Yes. I did not see tape of him, so I can't really say anything outside of combine results. But he
Ran a
did impress at the
4.4,
combine.
ran a 4.4, 38-inch vertical, 10.7 broad jump,
Yeah. He
4.34 shuttle
he very much
yard,
impressed the combine. Yeah.
and a 16 reps. I've seen some tape of him at UCF. I think he could be really good. The other one that I'm going to
Yeah.
have to go watch tape on is, again, I brought him up, Bashal Tootin. I think he's
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
be fun to watch tape of.
The next kind of categories that I got is QBs, because a lot of people were saying QBs are not good this year. While they are right that there's not a lot of starter QBs, there's actually a lot of like depth QBs or QBs that could become starters at some point, depending on circumstances. Um, the first one I'm going to talk about is Kyle McCord. I watched some of his tape. He does not have the strongest arm, but he's very accurate. I don't know if he was at the combine just doing. Did he do any of these drills? I don't think he did.
I don't think so.
I think he only did throwing drills.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he only did throwing drills. Um, Overall, just again, very very accurate. Can place the ball well. Just needs to deal with a little bit of like. I think he throws too many interceptions because despite his accuracy, I think he's too aggressive with the ball sometimes, and he's also a little smaller. So that could affect a little bit of his ability in the pros. We'll see. Um, the other one that I really want to talk about though is a veteran that's been in college for like 8 years. He's been like I think medical shirted 3 times or some shit like that. Tyler Shug, the dude is a stud. Like if you watch him play, I don't know a better. And he did a bunch of the drills too. Like you can look him up. He did the 40. He did the broad jump and stuff like that. Um, the dude just has a lot of really good talent. Like he's almost like a diet Joe Burrow or like a diet. Maybe Joe Burrow's not right, but like just a. I don't know. He's just got a lot of good skill set. He's got a strong arm. He moves pretty well in the pocket. He's got good vision. I think his biggest issues just comes down to the injuries. If he can't clear, injury concerns, he won't get drafted high. But like, I think he's easily a second rounder in my pick. I think he's somebody could take a chance on. See if he trains a little bit because like coming into the draft at 25 years old, I mean he's already got a lot of experience. He'll be an old QB, so he's already kind of been there, done that for a while. You kind of have plenty of tape to look at. The only concern is medical issues. So
He did
Very
run a
interesting prospect.
4.6 340, a 32-inch broad jump and a 9.9 on the broad because he had a
Yeah.
32-inch vertical. That's not bad for a QB.
For QB, that's not bad. He's actually he's a bigger than he looks kind of guy. Now the one that I want to talk about, like I'm not going to talk about Cam Ward. Cam Ward's obviously, a top 3 pick. There's no question in my opinion on that. I do want to talk about Shedeur Sanders. Maybe a little contentious. I watched the tape. In almost any other QB class, he would not be a first rounder. I'm sorry.
I do want to point something out here.
Mm-hmm.
Everything he did, yes, he had Travis Hunter, and yes, he had Joe Horn Jr., both of which are top-tier wide receivers.
Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with that.
In any other class, he might be, especially, what would his numbers be if he had an offensive line and a running game? Because he had neither of those things.
No, I'm not even talking about those. I'm talking about the way he moves. I'm talking about the way he throws. When I watch him play, he does not... He's good at throwing to open receivers. He does not anticipate when a receiver is going to be open. So quite often, I saw a lot of late passes. Not that they were bad passes, they were just slightly late where they could have maybe gotten even more yards. I just think that he's got a really good floor. Like, he's a good floor QB quarterback. I just don't know if his ceiling is that high from what I've seen. Granted, there's more that you could potentially put out there. Maybe he still has some more training he can do. But, like, he isn't the most athletic quarterback. He's a quarterback that knows his skill set and refined that skill set. And that's why he's got such a high floor. But based on athletics and based on what I watch, I just don't see, like, I see a starter. I just don't see a top 10 quarterback. I see a top 15 to 20 quarterback at best. That's just my opinion. And because of that, I don't rate him as a quarterback that should be high in the first round. Maybe a low first rounder. You could argue that. I could even agree with that. But, like, I think somebody's going to pick him up expecting a top 10 quarterback, and they're not going to get that. That's what I'm saying.
We'll see. I disagree with you because I think a lot of what you have on tape is him running for his damn life most of the time at Colorado.
That doesn't change throwing patterns, man.
It does.
I'm sorry.
Me. If you
can throw with anticipation, you can throw on the run with anticipation. That would be great. He's not doing that.
No, but he's also trying not to get sacked.
He's running around. He's running around enough just to wait until somebody gets open and throwing it open. That's not something you want from a great QB. You want to see more fundamentals. And the combine that he threw didn't change my opinion on it. I thought he was at the combine. Or no, was the Senior Bowl? Was he at the Senior Bowl?
I don't know. I know he did not. I don't know if he was at the. He was at the combine, but he didn't throw. He just showed up. Neither him nor Cam Ward threw at the combine.
No, I know Cam didn't throw. For some reason, I thought Sanders was going to throw.
Nope, he did not throw.
I don't think he was at the Pro Bowl. If he was, I don't remember him throwing.
I don't think he was at the Senior Bowl either.
The Senior Bowl, that's what I meant. Sorry.
I don't know what you're thinking of.
I must have been watching somebody else. But regardless, I know that I watched his tape specifically from Colorado. So,
yeah. And 90% of the time,
I don't know. Yeah. I'm just not impressed. I'll put it this way. In comparison to watching Cam Ward's tape, I'm not impressed. Cam Ward is the number 1 QB, and it's not even close. That's what I'm saying.
See, to me, if you flop where they're at, I think Sanders...
I don't even think if you flop teams, I do not think that would change
I disagree with you on that, because I think he had a lot more support at Miami than Shedeur had at Colorado.
Shedeur had better wide receivers, so you can't even go there with me.
He did.
I'm sorry.
He did. But if you can't get the ball... All right.
Cam Ward would easily be able to get the ball out without any issues there. I don't care what you say. I don't disagree with you whatsoever there. I just don't. I understand that O-line is... I know the O-line's not great, but at the same time, we've seen college quarterbacks who can run and throw with anticipation and throw well, rather than just running for their lives and hoping for somebody to get open at some point.
And it's not the same thing. I can understand where your concern is as well, because if you're going to go to one of these top 5, top 10 teams,
They're not probably going to have great
They're not going
O-lines
to have
either.
a great O-line. You're going to be running for your life again.
Yeah. Like, can you imagine him being on the Giants? Oh my God, he would look like Daniel Jones. I'm just saying, that's what it would look like.
Yeah, probably.
The ability to open up and throw to an open wide receiver, but trying not to get sacked constantly.
Yeah, I can see that.
Even him going to the Browns, I don't think would be great because I think that O-line has plenty of issues.
Since we're bringing up QBs, I want to talk Jackson Dart.
That was one guy I thought about putting in my list, but I haven't watched his tape, so I can't say anything outside of that.
I've seen some tape of him, and then I watched his throws when he went out and he threw. His throws looked really good. Like, to me, the way he threw the ball and the way he handled himself out there, and he threw a couple of very, very catchable, nice deep balls. I'm impressed with Jackson Dart now. I don't think he's going to be a first rounder. He'll probably be a second rounder, maybe a third. But I think whoever gets him is getting a good QB for the future. Like if the Rams wanted to grab him on like day 2 or something,
I can see that.
That would be perfect. Back up Stafford for a little bit, and then work your way into being the starter. 100%. There's no question there for me.
I can see it.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. I like it a lot. So I do have a slider in my quarterback class, and it is Will Howard.
I was going to say I would add Quinn Ewers in there because a lot of people had him higher up on the board
Quinn Ewers did not look good. He had a horrible workout. Howard also, he threw very nice deep balls, Howard did. I will say that. But he missed some very open, like, shorter passes, which concerns
Howard to me. Yeah, Howard to me feels like his floor is pretty low, but he's got high potential. So somebody who does draft him, you'd be drafting him into, like, preferably a team that's, like, doesn't need a QB right now, but maybe in the next 3 to 4 years.
Yeah,
kind of a situation.
Something along those lines. Maybe like, as much as I hate to say it, the Cowboys, because they still have Dak right now. But a couple of years down the road, maybe you're giving Howard a sniff. You know?
Yeah, I could see
Seahawks
it.
or
Seahawks, I could see. Pittsburgh.
I don't even know what they're going to do for QB next year because neither of their QBs is under contract for next year.
I think they're going to keep Fields, if I'm going to be honest, but we'll see.
I agree with you, but
Green Bay, as much as I hate to say it, I can see it. They're the type that would do it. Though.
They are Miami.
Lions.
The Lions. Oh, that.
At some point, they need to move on from Goff.
From Goff, so. Yep, and they've got Herndon in there right now, but
I don't know if he's. Yeah. You know, how much do they rely? How much do they trust him to be the next guy? Right.
So no, there are some good choices there.
Yep.
He kind of slid for me a little bit, but he's still better than some other choices. Again, Quinn Ewers just did not look all that great.
Honestly, like Quinn, just compared to what people were saying about him even last year, like I don't even know there's high potential there. Like, to be blunt, the performance I saw looked like a player that's going to play in the UFL. Like,
if he's in the NFL, he's a perennial backup. He's Curtis Painter.
Yeah.
He's never going to get started.
He's a bench warmer. Yeah.
Yep. He's going to play behind some big name quarterback, and you're going to bring him in week 18 because you're resting your starters for the freaking playoffs.
Dude, he might not even be QB2. He could be QB3. Like,
practice squad QB, scout team QB.
Yeah, scout team QB, basically. Yeah,
We'll see. I don't know. I was not impressed with his workout.
I was very unimpressed.
Maybe during his pro day, he'll make up for some of it. But as of right now, I wouldn't expect much out of him, guys.
No, I really wouldn't. Any other QBs you want to talk about?
Let me see here. We brought up Ewers, Dart. Jalen Milroe is making a mistake.
Oh, yeah, Jalen Milroe. Yeah.
From Alabama.
You want to talk about a guy that's got all the athletics in the world, but none of the other upsides that go with it whatsoever.
Like, if you look at his tapes from last year, you just go, what the fuck? How does anybody think this guy's a first rounder? But if you
Yeah.
look at his tape from the year before that, Saban's final year coaching, you go, oh, that's why people think he's a first rounder. Which makes me wonder if it was just Saban's system that made him look good.
I was gonna say we seem to have a recurring theme with Alabama quarterbacks and coming from Saban's system. I'm just saying.
You are not incorrect. I think that is something that we should all look at. But point being of all of this is he I just think he's making a mistake. And
Yeah,
I think
he's
if
not
anybody,
a first rounder.
I think if
I just don't.
anybody drafts him in the first round, they're making a mistake. I wouldn't draft him before the third round.
No, I wouldn't either. I was gonna say I might not even draft him in the second. To be honest
No,
with you, I don't
third
think
or
I would.
fourth for me on him.
Yeah, like he's the definition of, man, he's not ready to start now, but he's got all the like. To me, he comes across as a diet Anthony Richardson. Like he's got
Yes.
all the athletics and everything, but he needs to be put in the right organization that can train him up, and he could be something. He's
If
just.
we didn't have McCarthy,
Yeah.
I would say we should take him.
I could see it. I would almost say take Tyler Shug, but that's just me. But yeah, if you wanted to wait a little bit and pick up somebody else in the third or fourth, yeah, absolutely. I definitely,
Yeah.
potentially.
Anyway,
But,
point of all of that being that no, I don't think he's going to go first round at all.
No.
There are some people that have better.
He shouldn't be anyways.
But no.
He shouldn't be.
Yeah.
The other big group today that I've already done some work on is wide receivers. A lot of good names. I think a lot of people are saying this is not a good wide receiver route. I disagree. I think there's quite a few names that it will go probably first round, and a lot that could go second. To be honest with you, like there's a lot of interesting talent in wide receiver.
Hunter, Tet.
Yep,
Bird.
Hunter will be number one. Tet will be number one. Luther Bird in the third will be number one. Emeka Abukie will probably be a first rounder as well.
Golden. Matthew
Golden, yep. Matthew Golden. I don't know if he will go first, but he could.
He probably should. He did run. Let me see his 40 here because it was a fast as crap 40.
I mean, he was. I'm not disagreeing with you. His combine is what might bring him up higher. He was a 4.29, by the way.
4.29, yeah.
His combine was good. I'm just saying, based on tape alone, like I have some questions about some hands, but overall, he definitely could be a first rounder. It would be like a late first rounder, early second. That's kind of where I'm at with him.
Now the guy that slid completely off the board for me, real quick.
There's a couple of
we all
those,
know who
actually.
it's coming. We know it's coming. It's Isaiah Bond, who talked all that trash about being faster than Xavier Worthy, and then ran a 4.39.
Yeah.
The other one that slid all the way off the board, because I thought maybe he looked good at Oregon, Tez Johnson.
Oh God, yeah.
Tez Johnson is all of 5'8", 5'10", and 154 pounds. You would think, oh, he probably flies. He ran a 4.51.
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
Just no.
I don't know, maybe he pulled something, but whatever it was, it looked like crap.
The two guys that I want to talk about that could be first rounders, but I think will actually probably slip into the second. So the first one is Alec Amana. Sorry, Amana. I can't say his name for the life of me. Ao Manor. I could be wrong on that. Anyways, he's a very technical. He's not super fast. He's not super quick, but he's a very technical slot receiver that just catches everything that's kind of thrown his way. Like he's got, I don't know how to put it, but he just has that ability to like, if you watch, I'm not comparing him to JJ. I want to make this very clear. But if you watch the way JJ catches, like he will catch over DBs. He will constantly just, the way he contorts his body to catch the ball, it looks very similar. Like he just can kind of almost float in the air when he's catching the ball. It looks very, very good. Um, and then the other one that I really like is Jack Besh. Jack Besh he doesn't have a high top speed, but he's very quick in his feet, and he's very big. He's a big dude, like he's almost a tight end level wide receiver. Like he's a big boy who will run through people, use that to his advantage, and because he has quick feet, it can throw people off because he's such a big guy you can stop on a dime. He's a very interesting wide receiver in that way. Um, those are the two ones that surprised me the most that I didn't expect to have a grade on. Like I said, Ted, Travis, Luther, and Emeke. Like I expect all of those to be like first rounders. Matthew, I was pretty impressed with. I wasn't sure if he would be a late first or an early second. But Alec and Jack, like they shocked me to no end. Where I'm like, dude, I could see them being a first round grade. I don't think they will be, but like definitely second round. I could definitely see them being taken second round because either one of them could be plopped into almost any team and be able to be successful, to be honest with you.
So there is one guy that I do also want to talk about wide receiver wise that is not on anybody's board right now, but I think should be. It's a gentleman from San Jose State named Nick Nash.
I heard the name. Yeah.
Nick Nash did not start college career as a wide receiver. He started as a running back. Unfortunately, he's not very fast, but he's got great hands. For example, this last season, he caught 104 passes for 1,300 yards and 16 touchdowns for San Jose State. The season before that, he caught 48 passes for 728 yards. He basically doubled out all of his stats between seasons. He's not fast, but he's got a decent... He's not super athletic. What he does is run routes incredibly well, and he's got good hands.
That's basically Alec as well for me. Like, that's kind of the way
that reminds me of a little bit. There's a rookie. There was a rookie this last season that the knock on him was he's not very fast, but he runs good routes and he's got good hands.
McConkey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reminds me a little bit.
To be fair,
McConkey.
it took him a little bit before they started really utilizing him, but yeah.
Yeah. Once they figured out, hey, this kid can catch.
Hey, this guy's better than the last guy we got, who's like faster, but at least he got good hands. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So do keep an eye on Nick Nash. I don't think he's going to get into the first, but he'll probably go second round or maybe third. But I feel like he's going to be a lot better, and I feel like people shouldn't sleep on him. He's not quick, but he is going to catch the ball.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty good. We talked about risers, we talked about sliders. Yeah, don't really have much else for that. Do you have any other things you want to talk about there?
I mean, not really. I'll say the only thing I will say is, so if I were to grade the guys, I have Tet McMillan as my first wide receiver over Travis. And that's only as a pure wide receiver. I'm going to also be blunt, like watching Travis's tape. Like, if he just went full in as wide receiver, I think he'd be a top 10 wide receiver in the league. If he just decided to dedicate himself to wide receiver. I just don't think he will. I think he likes playing corner too much, which, don't get me wrong, great cornerback too. I'm not going to disagree with that. But like,
better wide receiver than he is a corner.
I think he's a way better wide receiver than people. The amount of people that I hear say that he's a better corner than a wide receiver, it just blows my fucking mind. Like, I'm like, have you watched the tape? The dude's not even fully committing to wide receiver and was one of the best wide receivers at Colorado. Are you out of your mind? Like, if the dude's got speed, he's got hands, he's got all the athleticism. Like, dude could literally be one of the best wide receivers if he just went full wide receiver. Like, it's insane. But yeah, that's the only thing I want to say about that is that Travis Hunter is an enigma of an athlete. Like, he is just so good at kind of everything.
Yes. All right. I'm going to do the hockey power rankings, top 10 teams in the NHL as of this last week. We finally got a full week of games in us. So let's break it down before the last power rankings, before the trade deadline this coming Friday.
Gimme.
At number 10, we have the Detroit Red Wings at a total record of 30, 24, and 6. They have 66 overall points, and in their last 10, they are 6, 3, and 1. Again, The Iser plan is finally paying dividends, and they look like they're about to go on a run. I hope they do, because it's going to be fun to watch. At number 9, the Columbus Blue Jackets still hanging in there. They are 30-22-8 with 68 points in their last 10. They are 6-3-1. I don't know how they're doing it, but Columbus is hanging around. They're going to make the playoffs this year, and they may actually make noise once they get there. At number 8, we have the Colorado Avalanche. They are 35-24-2. They have 72 points in their last 10. They are 6-4. Yeah, they're the Avalanche. I don't know what else to say about that except they're going to continue to be the Avalanche. Number 7, we have the Vegas Golden Knights at 36-18-6. They have 78 points in their last 10. They are 5-3-2. Again, just a team that's going to hang around until the playoffs start, and then they're going to turn the dial all the way to destroy the world. Number 6, slipping down quite a bit this week, is the Washington Capitals. They are 39-14-8 with 86 points, putting them second overall in the NHL in standings. But on my power rankings, they are number 6 because in their last 10, they are 5-3-2. Ovechkin's getting close, though. He's sniffing it. He's going to break it this season. Just from everything I've seen, he's going to break Gretzky's goals this season. And it's going to be a big deal when he does, obviously. At number 5, the Tampa Bay Lightning. 35-21-4. 74 points. But in their last 10, they're 8-1-1. They are cooking. Ever since everything happened with the Four Nations, since then, they've just been on fire. I don't know what happened. I don't know if they got somebody back from injury. Whatever the case is, they have turned it up to back-to-back Stanley Cup champion Lightning levels. Number 4 is the Florida Panthers. 38-21-3, 79 points in their last 10. They are 8-2-0. Again, it's the Panthers, man. They weather the loss of their superstar Matthew Tkachuk like, oh, well, next man up, let's go. Number 3, the Dallas Stars, 39-19-2, 80 points, last 10, 7-2-1. Yeah, they're cooking with something right now. Ottinger looks really good. The team looks good. Wyatt Johnston looks good. They're looking to sign him up to an extension. Yeah, Dallas is dangerous this year. Number 2, the Toronto Maple Leafs at 38-20-3, 79 overall points. In their last 10, they are 8-1-1. They finally lost a game in the shootout last night to the Sharks, 2-3, or 3-2, if you will. The Sharks beat them. But the night before that, the last game they played, they skated, they won in overtime. And that was a fun one to finish up and watch. But yeah, that was a game where they led 2-0 at one point, and the game ended with 5-5, and then they scored in the first minute of overtime. But you can tell they're really tired out right now. Unfortunately, the Leafs are. They need a break. And of course, the number 1 overall team still holding court and telling everybody to get away from them, the Winnipeg Jets. 42-15-4, 88 overall points. In their last 10, they are 8-1-1, and they did this with Hellebuck getting multiple nights rest and not starting. And he's back now after his time in the Four Nations. They're not missing a beat. They're just going to continue on being the Jets. They're cruising to the President's Trophy right now. It's just a matter of time. But that's where everybody is right now. So we will next week break down the hockey trade deadline, and I believe next week is about to be free agency. So this might come out a little later next week because we might want to because I think free agency is either Wednesday or Thursday. I want to say Wednesday. Might be Tuesday.
I don't remember.
But I think we're going to try to give this a couple of days to breathe. And then we'll recap both NFL free agency and the NHL trade deadline if we can, because I think free agency is going to be bonkers. The last little bit of news is, of course, it is an official thing from the agents of Myles Garrett that he will not sign an extension to stay in Cleveland.
Yeah, and everything I've heard is Cleveland has basically stonewalled everybody and went, nope, we're not trading them.
Yeah, everything I've heard is Cleveland is digging in their heels too, which is about the dumbest thing they can do.
You could argue that, but at the same time, Miles has no choice either. He can't leave. He'll have to stay. Now, whether or not he plays or not, that doesn't matter.
Yeah, if they franchise
the Browns
him,
could just do that.
Yeah, if they franchise him, he can go, nope, I'm retiring for a year. I'm out.
They don't even have to franchise him. Remember, he still has a 2-year contract.
He has 2 years left, but after those 2 years, he could become a free agent, or they can try and franchise him, which will cost an obscene amount of money. And he can say, I'm not playing on the franchise tag. I'm retiring for a year. He can submit paperwork, sit out a year, and then come back as an actual free agent, and the Browns wouldn't have.
But I think even in those upcoming season, like even if he doesn't play, they'll just find the shit out of him, and he'll either have to retire or play.
Yep. We'll have to see how it all goes.
I think the Browns are looking at this going, motherfucker, you want to step in another field? It's going to be in our uniform, and that's it. And I think that they're not necessarily wrong for dictating that, but at the same time, like, if you can get good draft capital for it because you know that he's not going to play, then you should. But at the same time, if you're calling the bluff going, the boy wants to play, and if he wants to play that badly, he'll do it in our uniform. We'll see.
We'll see how this game of chicken ends. In the meantime,
it's very interesting.
It is. In the meantime, we'll tell everybody that we believe in you. We know that if you put your mind to something, we believe you can accomplish it. To all the classmates of mine that might actually find this, hey, love you all. Let's get our work done. Make this bread. We finagle the bagel. We know we can do it. In the meantime, what we'll tell everybody, we'll be back again next week. Give us a subscribe. Give us a like. Hit that thumbs up button. Let us know that you enjoy or at least appreciate the time and effort that we put into this content. And what we'll say, stay bearded. Peace out.
I'm moving my head. I'm scratching my bird with my nose. Just looks weird. I'm sorry.
And I'm scratching my beard with my hand.
The bird takes priority over my beard. I'm sorry. This is what he wants, and this is what he gets.